to run across Lost World just to get Sonic Lost World. And you know what? This game, it's so stupid. Why did it come out October 18th in Europe, then over here, October 29th in America? Now my review's up in November. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so let's go and we're gonna go ahead and get right into the Sonic Lost World review.
Okay, I have a confession to make. I don't really like Sonic games. I was a fan of the old school ones back on the Genesis, but that was partly due to Sega's amazing marketing campaign. I really felt cool when I was a kid playing Sonic back in the day. But as the years went on, I realized gaming isn't a popularity contest between mascots. However, I think this makes me a perfect candidate to review Sonic Lost World on Wii U, because it's quite different from the previous games in the series. So you guys will get a fresh look from someone who isn't jilted by previous Sonic games. In typical PE reviews fashion, I will not be discussing the story much, but I will say the voice acting and characters are well done. Sonic and Tails have teamed up with Eggman to save the Earth from the Deadly Six. The story is straightforward, but it gets the job done. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it is a step up from the previous Sonic games. The excellent voice acting alone will keep you interested throughout the cutscenes. Sega really put the Wii U hardware to use with Sonic Lost World. The graphics in the game look amazing. Sonic, Tails, and all the characters have a vibrant and bold look. The models are detailed but simple at the same time. While speeding throughout the levels with Sonic, you can see Sega did a fantastic job with the draw distance and art style. Sonic Lost World is a beautiful game that has a lot of attention crafted to its look. Sonic Lost World is simply one of the cleanest looking games on Wii U and runs at a smooth 60 frames per second. Sonic Lost World is set up similarly to previous games, is that the goal is to run from one side of the map to another, but there have been some drastic changes to level design and layout. The Sonic team has added more platforming elements to the gameplay, so you'll often find yourself double jumping, climbing trees, and hopping from platform to platform. One of the new mechanics implemented to traverse the levels is a parkour mechanic. By holding down the ZR button, Sonic will automatically run across walls, climb up objects, and hop over ledges. It's a nifty mechanic that really adds variety to the gameplay. Plus, it's fun to pull off long wall runs. Sonic has some cool attacks as well. Players can kick enemies into each other by locking on and pressing Y or X. If kicking isn't your style, Sonic still has his trusty homing attack you can unleash on enemies by pressing the A button when locked on. The level design encourages multiple playthroughs, as there are different routes to take to unlock all the secrets in the area. Every zone has 5 red coins to collect that will give Sonic access to extra bonus zones and areas if collected. Finding all of these coins is exciting but challenging at the same time. Many of the elements from previous Sonic games come back. The bumpers, speed boosts, springs are all present. Another previous addition from Sonic Colors is the Wisp Powers. The Wisp Powers can be used in levels to zip across the stage, drill through the ground, or jingle from music note to music note. While some of them can be fun, they do seem out of place. While most control okay, the Rocket Wisp forces you to use the Wii U gamepad to aim, and my aiming feels slow and sluggish. Being able to use the analog stick in that situation would have been better, which is weird because some of the other Wisp powers allow you to use the analog stick. It doesn't make or break the game, but most of the time the Wisp powers are just completely optional. The boss battles in Sonic Lost World are a bit uninspired and lack complexity. Most of the time you just avoid being attacked directly and lock on and hit them. There is nothing particularly wrong with the boss battles. I would have just liked to have seen a bit more creativity with them. Sonic Lost World has a healthy mix of camera angles to add some nice touches to gameplay. For example, there are a lot of 2D sections. There are also sections where Sonic is constantly running and players just guide Sonic. But my personal favorite is the grinding sections. These levels are set up like the minecart levels in Donkey Kong Country. Heck, there is even minecarts in them. While controlling Sonic might take a little bit of time to get used to, once you got the hang of things, the controls are quite good. Hold down the control stick to briskly walk with Sonic. Press and hold the ZR button to run. At times, Sonic's jumping can feel a bit stiff, and some deaths can occur because the camera changes angles and you weren't ready. However, the game is not cheap or anything like that. One thing Sega could have done better is give Sonic a bit more speed. He can feel a little slow at times, but there's always the spin dash to make up for that. Plus, with the added platforming elements, Sega had to balance Sonic's speed a little bit. Sonic also has the ability to bounce off the ground up to 3 times, with the last bounce going higher than the previous 2. This bouncing can help you reach areas that you wouldn't have been able to with Sonic's double jump. Overall, Sonic's controls aren't perfect, but they aren't horrible either. There's a period of time it takes to get adjusted, but I was able to adapt and master the controls after practice. Sonic Lost World has some great extra gameplay features. In addition to the core single-player game, using Miiverse, players can send and receive wisps. These wisps can be sent away and come back stronger. There's also built-in Miiverse posting after you finish a level. This kind of integration is always welcome for single-player games, as you get a sense of what the community feels about certain levels or parts in the game. After you beat each level, a time attack option appears as well. Here is where you can post your scores to Miiverse and compete in the online leaderboards. With all the different pathways and areas, time attack battles really create a lot of replay value. Sonic Lost World also features a 2-player race mode, where the levels unlock as you beat single-player zones. While this mode is nice to have, the frame rate does get cut down to 30 frames per second. It's also a bit shallow and lacks depth. There's also a co-op mode, which is much more user-friendly and keeps the frame rate around 60 frames per second. A second player can control a remote-controlled gadget and then use it to assist Sonic. It's kind of like Co-Star mode in Galaxy, but with a little bit more depth. It's tough to put a total playtime on the game considering everything that's in it, but the story in Sonic Lost World should take you around 6 to 10 hours to complete, depending on your skill. As far as total content goes, Sonic Lost World should be well more than 30 hours if you replay missions, find secrets, play time attack, and check out the local multiplayer. There's also a built-in achievement system where as you complete missions, you'll be rewarded with new wrist powers and co-op robots. Now what GPA stands for is Gamepad Advantage, and it's just like your grade point average. 2.0 is satisfactory, 3.0 is excellent, and 4.0 is the best. And Sonic Lost World's GPA is a 2.0. It's just satisfactory. And you know, I actually give it lower, but it does have off-TV play, so that's also good. So it's a 2.0. It's very average. It's not integrated as good as some other games like the Wonderful 101 or the Wind Waker HD. The gyro controls used to control the whips are kind of poorly implemented, and it doesn't control as fluidly as you would like. But you can select whiffs from the gamepad, and all the information that's usually cluttering up the screen is shrunken down to the gamepad screen, so it actually clears up the HUD for you. So that's an advantage, so that's the reason why it gets a 2.0 satisfactory. Sonic Lost World is not a perfect game, but it does a lot of things right. The crisp graphics, great level design, and varied gameplay are put together to form one of the best games on Wii U. While the controls can be a bit stiff and take time to get used to, they really do complement the new style of gameplay in Sonic Lost World. The new parkour mechanic and kicking attacks bring a nice, fresh gameplay mechanic to the Sonic universe. Combine that with the added challenge the game offers, and Sonic Lost World is really a game for old school gamers. While some Sonic purists might cry foul over Sonic's running speed, there is more than enough level devices to help speed Sonic up, combined with the spin dash. If you have an itch to play a fast-paced platformer with great graphics and level design, go pick up Sonic Lost World for the Wii U. My final score for Sonic Lost World is an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching the review. Make sure you check out Playeressence.com all week for all your news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks. See you guys next time.